3 children murdered. 3 teenagers accused. Community divided by fear and suspicion. But as the years passed, one question has lingered. Were the West Memphis 3 truly guilty? Or were they victims of a justice system desperate for answers? In May of 1993, in the small town of West Memphis, Arkansas, 3 8-year-old boys, Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers, went missing. The next day, their lifeless bodies were discovered in a wooded area known as Robin Hood Hills. The crime shocked the nation not only for its brutality, but for the investigation that followed, one that led to the conviction of 3 local teenagers, Damian Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Misskelley. Together, they would become known as the West Memphis 3. Damian Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Misskelley were outsiders in their community. Eccles, the oldest, had a fascination with heavy metal music and dark clothing, interests that, in 1993 Arkansas, marked him as different. Jason was quiet, reserved, and a loyal friend. Jesse struggled academically and had an IQ of just 72, leaving him vulnerable and easily influenced. To many in their town, these differences painted them as suspects before evidence was even considered. But before we talk about the accused, we must remember the victims. Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers were just 8 years old. They loved riding bikes, playing outdoors, and hanging out in their neighborhood. That evening they were just being children, exploring, laughing, innocent. They never came home. On May 5, 1993, the 3 boys went missing after school. Their families searched frantically, reporting them missing that evening. The following day, searchers discovered their bodies submerged in a drainage ditch in Robin Hood Hills. The boys were found bound, beaten, and one had suffered mutilation. Rumors of satanic rituals and cult activity spread like wildfire through West Memphis. The brutality of the crime horrified investigators and locals alike. In a deeply religious community, whispers of satanic rituals took hold, and almost overnight, the pressure to solve the case intensified. Police, desperate for a suspect, turned their attention to Damian Eccles, the local misfit whose interest in the occult made him an easy target. The investigation was riddled with flaws. Detectives relied on community gossip, ignored physical evidence, and seized on the boys' differences. The most damning piece of the prosecution's case came from Jesse Misskelley, a teenager with a low IQ, who, after hours of intense interrogation, gave a confession riddled with inconsistencies. He later recanted, but the damage was done. In 1994, the trials began. Jason Baldwin was sentenced to life in prison. Jesse Misskelley received life plus 40 years. Damian Eccles was sentenced to death. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the teenagers were convicted, largely on fear, rumor, and a coerced confession. Years later, DNA testing revealed that none of the genetic material found at the crime scene matched the West Memphis 3. Instead, evidence pointed toward other possible suspects, including one of the victim's stepfathers. For nearly 2 decades, the West Memphis 3 remained behind bars. Their story gained worldwide attention, fueled by documentaries, celebrity advocates, and mounting evidence of their innocence. In 2011, facing the possibility of a retrial, the men accepted an Alford plea, maintaining their innocence while acknowledging the state had enough evidence to convict. They walked free after 18 years, but justice was never truly served. The real killer of Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers has never been found. The West Memphis 3 remain symbols of a justice system that failed, both the victims and the accused. Stevie, Michael, and Christopher's lives were stolen, and Damian, Jason, and Jesse lost nearly 2 decades to a system that chose fear over facts. The case leaves us with a haunting question. In the rush to find monsters, did we create new ones ourselves? Thank you for watching this documentary. Do you believe the West Memphis Three were guilty or wrongly convicted? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that shed light on the darkest corners of justice. Every voice helps keep these victims' memories alive.